It was just one rainstorm after the next, and it immediately turned this gravel road into muddy soup.
Yeah.
Bike was getting covered in this goopy, muddy dirt.
Hey everybody!
Welcome back to another episode of Notier's Frontiers, where we go all over the world on our KTM 1190 motorcycle. We've been through the Americas and we've been halfway up through Africa.
This is
and
true.
Now we are on our trip to the top of Alaska.
We successfully made it to,
Yes, we did.
to Dead Horse.
We're coming back down from Dead Horse, which is the very most northern point. Is that correct grammar? It's the most...
It's the northernmost point.
The northernmost, there we go, the northernmost
When
point.
you gotta rely on me for correct grammar, it's a sad day.
We're coming back from Dead Horse and we're coming back to Fairbanks. In the last episode, we ran out of gas for real. We just ran out of gas. We were stranded on the side of the road, but we were able to finally get to the next place that had gasoline, which was Coldfoot. Hey, no, they stopped. They're saving us.
Cause I'm the gas man.
I'm glad that Tim has returned with gas and I don't have to stand here anymore, and we'll be on the road. Then we headed off from Coldfoot to go all the way back to Fairbanks.
Which would be another test of the gasoline limit of my motorcycle.
But this time we were looking on iOverlander and we're like, what is this gas station halfway in between Coldfoot and Fairbanks? It was called Yukon River Camp. And I know that during the pandemic, a lot of places closed. So I thought, oh, maybe it's just closed. I don't remember seeing any gas station. So we kept looking it up and we saw that someone had
was there
been
like
there
2 weeks ago, or
Yeah, so we're like, all right, this is hopeful. Maybe we'll be able to get gas there. Certainly we have enough gas to get there, and then that'll be plenty to get to Fairbanks.
People around the world on the back. I'll put it by my buddy.
Yeah.
2 wheels, 3 sheets. We are friends. Proof.
The roads had turned into like a split pea soup. It was just, it was raining.
This day was not so lucky with the weather. It was just one rainstorm after the next, and it immediately turned this gravel road into muddy soup.
Yeah.
Our bike was getting covered in this goopy, muddy dirt. So we slowly made our way to this gas station that we didn't know if it was going to exist or not. It was going to be next to a bridge that crossed the Yukon River, which is a massive river. So we knew that from looking on the map, and we're like, all right, we can't miss it.
Yeah, you hit a bridge, gone too far.
Right, you're gonna hit this giant bridge over the river, then that's gonna be where this gas station is. We kept going and going. And finally, I can see the Yukon River in the distance, and I'm like, okay.
You can see it.
I'm like, all right, this gas station's got to be somewhere around here. And sure enough, there was a tiny sign that had the symbol for gas. We had missed that on the way up, and then you pull off, and
you enter like
there
this
it is.
destruction derby mud pit like arena that is their parking lot. A monster truck would have had difficulty getting through, you know, but we're just, there's gas, and so we need gas.
Yeah. But they had a nice little place there. They also had a
we got food.
Yeah, a lodge with food and everything. We were so hungry.
We were very hungry. But yeah, my bike looked like it's seen some things, man.
And then we're standing there, and 2 other KTM 1190Rs pull up. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Through the mud, and they're rocking it. They're just going through that mud perfectly fine, and they just pull up and they're like, hey.
Yeah, it was really cool. They had these big freaking like
orange gloves
representing KTM to the fullest.
We filled up with gas at the gas station. The rain was just coming down, and we knew we had many more hours to go before we hit Fairbanks. I feel like the rains and the mud just got worse as we headed to Fairbanks.
My jacket was surprisingly very clean. I mean, it had been days and weeks, if not a month, of like hitting large insects and having them splatter against me and my helmet, and so it kind of looked like I was in a paintball war and was on the losing team of like this neon green gut splatter. But the rain had washed away my jacket, but my motorcycle was not as lucky. Neither was the back of Marissa's backpack and helmet.
It was like spinning out from the back tire and getting all over the back of the motorcycle, and then actually hitting my backpack as well. Yeah, that was some pretty intense
little mud monster.
Not our favorite thing to go through, because normally when we were coming up, it was, you know, we're going 50, we're going 60 sometimes on these roads. They were just super nice when it was dry, and now we're going like 25. 30.
Sliding around, and everyone, you know, everything feels like, you know, it's good. And then every once in a while the rear tire would kick out and do something weird, and I'm like, whoa, all right, maybe a little bit slower, you know?
And it was very hard to visually see the difference between the consistencies in the road. It was hard to predict, like, is this going to be a super slippery section, or are we going to be able to grip really well and keep going?
You know, and like the Discovery Channel needs to make a series called Mud Road Truckers, you know, because I mean, these guys are still flying at 70 and they leave these trenches deep in the mud, so we're in and out of ruts, and you know, it's just this goopy slime. But we kept on making our way. Of course, I would still wanted some like photo ops, so I'd make Marissa jump off in the rain and take pictures of me.
Yes, there was a lot of that going on. Now the photos we got, I think, are
fandubulous. Use that word.
Fandubulous. But me getting on and off the motorcycle in the rain, in the mud, it's super slippery when you put your foot up on the peg to get on the motorcycle and get over it, and it's a sopping wet mess, and I swing mud along as I go, and it's not my favorite thing. I don't like it.
And the black flies don't care if it's raining or not.
They do.
And so she would flip her visor up, and all I hear on our intercom is, "Get away! Get out of my face! Get out of my helmet!" And I'm just like, "Are you battling your other personality?"
The mosquitoes, they would like get inside my helmet from underneath, from the chin area. And if I had the visor up, of course, they'd come and attack my eyes and everything. So it was not my favorite thing to do, but it was such beautiful scenery. I mean, how can we not?
This is true.
And sometimes, you know, on the way up, a lot of that had been very clear skies. But sometimes I like that cloud coverage to kind of add the drama and add the different textures and lighting. And
it's definitely a different realm in Middle Earth when it's all overcasted like that.
Exactly. Can you imagine Mordor on a sunny day?
Yeah.
No. We had this wonderful surprise as we started entering the Fairbanks area. There was this gorgeous sunset.
Oh, yeah. Sunsets are a rare occasion for us while riding, especially in Alaska when the sun sets at like 2:30 in the morning, it feels like sometimes. You know, and it probably wasn't even a sunset. It was probably, you know, like there was dark clouds in the distance, and the sun was going. It was an illusion of a sunset that was still beautiful.
At first, I was unsure whether it was a real sunset or not. I mean, we hadn't seen the sunset in a very long time, but it could have just been the clouds making the colors and everything. But as we got closer, I realized it was starting to get darker and darker, and there really was this long twilight that started to happen.
It was a verified sunset.
Yeah, I mean, the sunset lasted for like an hour. It was the longest sunset I'd ever seen. It was very, very beautiful, and it kind of welcomed us into Fairbanks. You dropped the bike 0 times.
Yeah, I was like, I dropped the bike. Follow up 0 times, folks.
0 times.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
So we rented this little cabin on Airbnb, and it was tucked into the woods near Fairbanks, and it was really cute. It was like a little tiny house.
Yeah.
Welcome to our little cabin here in Fairbanks.
Thank you, Temple of Moto.
Yes. Very, very nice. One room, and it didn't have any running water, but that was okay.
Yes.
But because it didn't have any running water, the bathroom situation was very interesting.
This is true. On multiple levels, and I'll give you one hint. It's one room, folks. We've been dating each other for 7 years. I've never done my business in front of my wife.
Yes, we've been together 10 years.
10 years, my bad. I'm sorry, folks. 10 years.
So that will all be in the next episode. I know you're just on the edge of your seat, just wanting to know what could this toilet situation be.
Yes.
But yes, we will elaborate in the next episode, so stay tuned, and I hope you liked this one. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Ding, ding. And we'll be seeing you next time.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
It was getting slipperier and slipperier and slipperier.